So if you watched my last video, you saw we got done with bean harvest last night. And I think we'll get started with corn harvest today. As long as it doesn't rain. There is a chance of rain all day today, pretty much all week actually, not a real big chance, but it won't take much rain to keep us out of the field. So last night I got in out of the field, and I don't think I covered this. I think I showed this box in, I think 2 videos ago, that I got this, actually it wasn't this box, it was this box. And in that box was a new vacuum reservoir. The only problem with it was, that's not it. The problem with it was these 2 things coming out of the can where you attach your vacuum hoses were quite a bit larger than the ones that were on my truck. So I ended up cutting this out of the can. I took a little drill bit and I drilled down around this, and then ended up snipping out the center of it, stuck the old one in the can, and I just took RTV, black RTV silicone, sealed it up in there, and evidently there was a little hole in that silicone and it wasn't sealing up. Actually, there was 2 little holes. So when I got home last night, I pulled it out of here. These are the vacuum lines that hook up to it. And I put my little hand vacuum pump on there, and I found the 2 little holes, and I glopped a bunch more silicone on there. Not the prettiest thing in the world, but it should work if I get down to the salvage yard again anytime soon. But this can was sent to me by someone, and I'm going to be in talks with him today. And he's from a part of the country that they don't see a lot of the road salt and that type of thing, so the parts are good. Might need painted up or something, but the parts are good, and he has good prices. He needs to get me his contact information and so forth, and him and I are going to work together. He's going to help supply me some parts for the project truck. Alright, so I got this reservoir back in here, and I just put it in with some zip ties. If you watched one of my other videos, you saw that the bracket on the bottom of the can that was in here was totally shot, and the one on the new can had a little different style bracket. Holes weren't the same spacing, and it just wouldn't work. So I zip tied it down through the inner fender, which is where it was bolted to in the first place. Pretty solid. It's gonna work for now. So we'll see if this fixes anything. I really doubt it, although a vacuum leak could cause some drivability issues. I don't think that's the cause of my issue, but it should keep the check engine light off. And I don't know if it's gonna rain or not. I know there's some showers off that way, and I think some off that way, more so off that way. Probably going to dissipate, but there's a chance of rain all day, so I'm gonna close this up down here. I really should take this down and put it in the shop somewhere. But right now I'm gonna close it up down here. And get ready to go to the field. A little while ago I did go up to the parts store and I got 2 U-joints for the rear axle. These are Master Pro U-joints. It's O'Reilly's house brand U-joint. Probably not the top of the line U-joint, but for the price of 1 Spicer U-joint, I could get both of these. Not going to be putting a lot of miles on the truck anytime soon. So I figured these would get me by and at least let me know if that's the cause of my vibration. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull the drive shaft out from under the truck, bring it over here, slap a couple new U-joints in it, put it back in, go for a drive, and see if that fixes the vibration as I'm going down the road. There doesn't seem to be any vibration until you get up to about, I'd say 50, 60 miles an hour. You go faster than that, it seems to go away. Slower than that, seems to go away. You let up on the gas, it goes away. Makes me think it is a U-joint. I did get under the truck late last night and seems a little loose. I'm not for sure if one of the U-joints is bad or not, but I'm gonna put new ones in and know that they're good. I'm thinking the front one might be bad. Kind of the same thing, if you remember back a few videos, several videos, my wife's old Tahoe had a vibration in it, and it was a U-joint, real similar to how this truck is acting. So I got the drive shaft pulled out. All there is there's 4 bolts back here. Loosen those up and the whole thing just slides out. But now I just need to get in here and pull all the clips out, get the U-joints out. May have to get a screwdriver. May have to get a screwdriver and a hammer and pop all these clips out. I have new clips, so not concerned if I damage these, which aren't in very good shape anyway. So trying to get this clip out of here, and it is not wanting to cooperate, but just got to persuade it a little bit. I don't know if I can do this one-handed, but just gotta basically just get that clip out of there, all 4 sides, both ends. So I got this rear U-joint out, and kind of hard to tell because I had just greased the U-joints on this. Nothing really looks too bad, except for right here, if you can see that, a bunch of marring, and it's on that one. And I think the rest of them are fairly smooth. Yeah, that one has some too right there. So they're due for a change, and they're fighting me coming apart, I'll tell you that. They're all kind of stuck. But I'm going to go ahead, I'm gonna replace this one, take that one out, replace that, and we'll get it back in the truck. They just started combining corn. Not sure if I need to go out yet or not, so I may not get this done today. Well, went out to the field, forgot the camera, and didn't get the U-joints put back on. As you can see, it is nighttime now. 50% chance of rain tomorrow morning, and then I think a 90% chance on Wednesday, I think. So may have a couple days off. But got this all torn apart, and I'm gonna put the U-joints back in this, get it back in the truck, take it for a little drive, and we'll see where we're at. Next day. Boy, I've got a mess to pick up around here. Anyway, I posted the question up on OBS Revolution last night about what's going on with the truck. Kind of suspecting it is the torque converter, but there are some other things. One thing is the transmission mount. I don't know if I mentioned that in what I recorded yesterday, but the transmission mount doesn't look the greatest. I'm gonna get under there and check that out here in a minute. But one other thing that can cause transmission issues and torque converter issues, this is the bulb out of the 3rd brake light, and if these are burnt out, that can actually cause your transmission to shift funny. It can cause torque converter lock and unlock issues. All that wiring is connected somehow, and if that bulb is burnt out, it can cause drivability issues. Is that the problem? I highly doubt it, but I did run out this morning, picked up a couple new bulbs, figured it's worth a shot. Little breezy right here, got some rain this morning, had a good thunderstorm roll through. Doesn't look like we're gonna be in the field today. It's supposed to rain again tomorrow, pretty much every day this week. Just to verify that it works. There we go. Hi, George. And like I pretty much suspected, that didn't fix anything. Yeah, that didn't fix anything. Didn't really think it would. I'm gonna get under the truck and check out the transmission mount. And also gonna take a look at the brakes. Brakes don't work, though the brakes seem to work okay, but the pedal's about on the floor. And I noticed in a driveway that I turned around, it was downhill a little bit and gravel. And I think the right front was locking up. Maybe a brake's dragging a little bit. Well, I know one thing. I got under here, I was just looking around. So I decided to check the fluid level in the transfer case. It had, well, it dumped all over the floor, and it had about 2 quarts too much in it. I don't even know how they got that much fluid in that thing. It's supposed to be full. When it gets to the bottom of the fill plug, it had 2 extra quarts. I believe the transfer case only takes a couple quarts of Mercon automatic transmission fluid, which I think I have a couple quarts over here. There's a full one there, and there's a full one. I may just go ahead and drain that out and fill it with some fresh fluid, and I may drop the transmission pan, get a new filter, bunch of transmission fluid, and do that while I'm at it. So I drain the excess out of the transfer case into that bucket. I dumped that bucket into here, and I should have recorded it because that was not very pretty looking stuff. Wasn't nice and red like it should be. It was more of a very, very, very dark red. And it's just starting to run out. I'm putting the plug back in. And it is simple as that. So here's the stuff that came out of it. You saw how red new transmission fluid is. This stuff is not so red. So that's a good job to have done. I don't think that's going to help anything except for the transfer case. That old oil was not good. So if I can track down a filter, and there's also a clip kit you can get for these filters. The filters in these transmissions can fall down, which can also cause problems. I don't know if I can find one around here locally. If I can, I may go ahead and change the transmission fluid today. Well, I've been tinkering around with the truck most of the afternoon, and one thing I did is I put these wheels and tires on it. Took those off. Don't have a whole lot of tread left on them. Put these on. These came off of the flare side that I had last year, and I believe they're brand new. You can tell on here where the wheel weight used to be. The guy that had the flare side before me, I believe he got it from his uncle, and I bet they put new tires on it. But anyway, I took it out for a little test drive, and it rides a little better just because the tires are better, but it did not fix the issue. Currently, I'm not getting a check engine light or anything like that coming on. Still acts like a vacuum leak to me, but it very well could be the torque converter as well. So if it rains like they say it's supposed to tomorrow, I'm gonna go ahead and change out the transmission fluid and filter. I was going to do it today, but we were thinking of going to the field if the sun came out, which it did. Well, we made it back out in the field. Corn harvest is underway. However, it looks like it's going to rain. It's supposed to rain for the next couple of days, and we're probably not going to get a lot done. We aren't doing a whole lot today, I don't believe. It's supposed to start raining here in a few hours. We're putting a couple loads in down there where I just was at that grain bin site, and now Going back up here, get another load. We're going to start dumping corn into the drying bin up at this bin site. We like to get enough in the bin, basically cover the floor with corn, so we can see if the burner is going to light on the fan, and by that time it may be raining. Right here, this is the field that we're in, and I'm not even sure where the combine is right now. I believe it's right up there. And then that second bin from the left, that's the drying bin. That is the one we're going to be unloading into. There comes the combine. Right there. I think the other tractor and wagon's on the other side of the bin there somewhere. There's the other tractor. Well, it's still looking like it's gonna rain. It's supposed to start raining sometime this afternoon. And if it does, maybe I can go get that transmission fluid filter and all that good stuff. If I don't do it today, it sounds like it's gonna be wet tomorrow. So that will probably be getting done in my next video. I'm gonna end this video right here. Give it a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.